We're talking about 2025, Baba Vanga. She's predicted some very strange things, including 9/11. So she was born in 1911 in Bulgaria. She went blind as a child, and she, let's just say, she started having visions of things that were going to happen, visions of the future. Some of the things she predicted have already come to pass. Like what, you might ask? Well, let's talk about 9/11. She said that, quote, steel birds would attack the American brethren. Okay, steel birds. Interesting. She also predicted the 2004 tsunami. She said that great waves will cover the shores and people will disappear under the water. And we know that I think it was tens of thousands of people were killed in the 2004 tsunami. She also predicted the rise of a black president, and she said it would coincide with economic turmoil. Barack Obama took office during the peak of the 2008 financial collapse. But it's her warnings about 2025 that are the most strange. So what did she say is going to happen? Well, let's just get right into it. She said, first, alien contact would forever alter humanity. She said that 2025 would be the year that humanity finally makes a contact with aliens. She also said that natural disasters would reshape the nations. She said the collapse of financial systems would usher in a unified global order. She said that biological crises caused by unprecedented outbreaks would occur. She also said geopolitical conflicts leading to the destruction of cities and borders would happen. She also said that technological singularities would blur the lines between human and machines. She also said that cosmic disturbances with celestial events would trigger fear and awe among the population. Now, everything I just said there is lining up with actual real-life events that are happening now. These were actually predicted in the 80s and 90s. Dr. Stephen Greer, he's a prominent whistleblower and founder of the Disclosure Project, and he's also warned of a staged alien invasion. We have very different opinions on the UFO phenomenon, Dr. Greer and I. However, his predictions and Baba Vagana's predictions seem to line up.
Werner von Braun said to her, what we're going to do, we're going to hoax an alien threat to consolidate sort of a totalitarian power around the world, because it'll be so frightening to people. They will give up their freedoms and they will, et cetera, and so on. We have to have an interplanetary war and Armageddon, so Christ will return. And now I'm quoting, and I went, excuse me? And it turned out he was the major funder for a far extreme group at the Vatican known as Opus Dei, and was very devoted to this idea that Christ will only return when enough of the world is destroyed, enough of the population is destroyed, that it forces the return of Christ. So I'm there just listening politely going, WTF, right, what? And then I realized that there's a component of this group that are like that. And then there's another component, and this is the chief mentor for Luis Elizondo, that honestly are Satanists who love destruction, love torture.
So according to Dr. Greer, he's basically saying Project Bluebeam is about to happen. Powerful global elites plan to manufacture an alien or an extraterrestrial threat in order to unify the planet under a single government. He asserts that the advanced technologies, aka reverse engineered craft, from actual UFOs that were crashed, are actually being deployed in secret to create convincing simulations of alien craft. Now, Dr. Greer emphasizes that this false flag operation will exploit humanity's fears, driving the masses to accept a militarized one-world government. Have you heard of the Deagle Report? The Deagle Report is infamous for predicting a massive depopulation event by the year 2025. Okay, so originally compiled by an organization with ties to the U.S. Department of Defense, the report forecasts a drastic population change, basically a reduction in all Western nations, with declines as high as 70% in some area. That's exactly what Dr. Stephen Greer is saying is going to happen with this fake alien invasion. They're going to depopulate the whole world with this technology, and it's going to be terrible. And the Bible's talking about the same thing, and Baba Vanga is talking about the same thing. Deagle attributes these figures, the 70% in global population, to economic collapse, famine, disease, geopolitical instability. While critics dismiss these predictions as speculative, which they could be, the convergence of global crises, pandemics, resource shortages, and war lends them a troubling plausibility. James Goodall, an employee at basically Area 51 at the S4 facility at Groom Lake, okay, the same place that Bob Lazar talked about working.
We were talking about, again, activities at Groom Lake, and I asked him, I said, can you really tell me what's happening out there? And he said, well, There's a lot of things that are going on there that I won't be able to tell you until the year 2025.
2025.
All of them point to 2025 being the strangest year that humanity has ever seen.